In the beginning of the drama, we are first shown the male lead, Minhyuk. He is sitting on a bus holding some flowers when suddenly the tire gets punctured and the bus goes out of control. The bus is about to hit a little girl and her mother standing in front when a girl stops the bus and saves them. Everyone becomes quiet and cannot understand how all this happened. Minhyuk sees that girl, but his eyes open to the ringing of his phone, which is from a blackmailer. That blackmailer starts giving Minhyuk some threats related to his company, but Minhyuk cuts him off without listening to him. Next, we see the main female lead, whose name is Bong Soon. We see that she is sitting in her house filling out a resume form. Bong Soon gets fired from her job every day because of her mistakes. Then she shows us an old magical book and tells us that she is very different from everyone else. She has some unique powers that she got from her mom, but she has to use her powers only for the good of the people. But if she uses her powers for her own benefit, then according to a curse, her powers are taken away. The same thing had happened with Bong Soon's mom. As long as she was bringing fame to the country with her power, everything was fine. But when she started taking money by scaring and threatening people, those powers were taken away from her. She became very upset and started crying. After some time, she married a man, that is, Bong Soon's dad. After that, 2 children were born in their house, one Bong Soon and the other her younger brother, who is completely normal, meaning he has no powers. Bong Soon has hidden her powers from the world since childhood, at her mom's behest. Bong Soon says that wherever she worked, her powers would eventually be revealed to people, due to which she had to leave the job. On the other hand, we are again told about Minhyuk, who is very rich because he is the CEO of a big and popular company. He is in a public park when he notices that an unknown man has been following him for quite some time. So he chases the man to catch him. Even after running for a long time, that man manages to escape. Then Minhyuk calls his secretary and says, "I need a bodyguard quickly." Next, we see that a truck has blocked the entire road. A school bus driver tells those truck drivers, "Move the truck." But because they are gangsters, they start hitting that driver without listening. Just then, Bong Soon arrives there. She quickly takes out her phone and starts calling the police, but the gangster's leader snatches her phone and throws it far away, causing its screen to break. She picks up her phone and asks that man for money to get the phone fixed, but that gangster refuses to give her money for the mobile repair. Just then, Minhyuk is passing by on the same road. Over there, Bong Soon is asking the gangster for her phone money when the big boss slaps her hard. This makes Bong Soon so angry that she loses her temper and in return, slaps that gangster so hard that even his teeth break, and she picks him up and throws him far away. Seeing this, all the gangsters come to attack her, but Bong Soon crushes both of their feet. She throws one to this side and the other to that side, seeing which even Minhyuk is shocked, thinking, "What is happening?" Then the first gangster comes. Bong Soon again asks him for her phone money, but that gangster doesn't understand anything. Then his friends tell him, "You should stay away from that girl." But without listening to anyone, he starts to raise his hand at Bong Soon. Just then, Bong Soon grabs his hand and twists it so hard that all his fingers become crooked, and he starts screaming loudly. Then Bong Soon says, "Sorry," and starts to fix his fingers back. Minhyuk, seeing everything, asks, "Who is this girl?" When Bong Soon starts to leave from there, Minhyuk just keeps watching her. He gets attracted to her at first sight. In the next scene, we see that all the gangsters and children are at the police station and are trying to tell the police everything. Then we are shown the second male lead of this drama, whose name is Guk-do. He is an honest police officer. Bong Soon, standing outside, is fixing her hair and thinks, "What will Guk-do think about me?" Nervously, she sets her hair, uses a mouth freshener, and goes inside. Seeing her, everyone shouts, "It was her! She's the one who did this to us!" Swing, but no one believes their words. When Guk-do is taking Bong Soon's statement, Bong Soon just keeps looking at him and gets lost in her thoughts. Guk-do reads the gangster's statement and says, "What is this nonsense? How can a weak girl beat so many people?" But then he says he can't do anything even if he wants to because this is the gangster's statement, and if it's written in it, she could go to jail. But if a witness is found, things could work out. Then a man comes who says that he was the one who called the police, and he is ready to be a witness. He tells everyone, Bong Soon is innocent. These gangsters were fighting among themselves. Hearing this, the senior officer says, "I already felt that these people were lying. How can a simple girl defeat such powerful people?" Then the senior officer lets Bong Soon go. When Bong Soon is about to leave, Minhyuk, who is with his secretary, stops her and says, "Don't you think you should say thank you to me?" Bong Soon says, "First, tell me why you lied inside." Minhyuk says, "I lied to save you, but you're leaving without saying thanks." So Bong Soon says, "If you were there and saw that a girl was fighting so many people alone, then you should have come and supported me like a real man, not just watch the show." Next, we see a scene at the cafe where Bong Soon's mom comes and starts demanding all the money her husband has earned. Then she looks at Bong Soon and says, I don't know when you will get a good job, and adds, if you're not getting a job, then marry a rich man, but someone who has money, not brains. On the other hand, Minhyuk starts to get very tense after receiving threatening calls from the stranger. His manager gives him a list of bodyguards, but only Bong Soon is on his mind. Therefore, Minhyuk tells his secretary, find the girl from the police station and bring her here. Upon the secretary's call, Bong Soon comes to meet him. At first, Bong Soon is not ready to become anyone's bodyguard, but when she is offered a large payment and hears the name Minhyuk's company, she agrees. After that, Bong Soon comes to the company to sign the contract. Minhyuk wants to give her a test before making her sign the contract, so he starts arm wrestling with her. But Minhyuk loses, and on top of that, he also injures his hand. Minhyuk asks security for the contract file and tells Bong Soon to sign it. When Bong Soon sees that the contract amount is 60 lakhs, she is stunned, and she immediately signs the contract. Minhyuk's secretary tells him, perhaps you are making a mistake, because technically Bong Soon is a weak girl. But to clear his secretary's doubt, he asks him to fight with Bong Soon. At Minhyuk's instruction, the security guard puts on a helmet. As soon as the secretary comes with full energy to take Bong Soon down, with just her light touch, he flies in slow motion and falls far away. Then, the secretary is admitted to the hospital. After that, Bong Soon asks Minhyuk, if I turn out to be good at the bodyguard job, will you get me a seat in your company's game development department? Because working in your company is a big dream of mine. Minhyuk agrees. When Bong Soon then comes home, after a little while, Gukdu arrives and gives Bong Soon an electric stun gun. He says, the day you met those people at the police station, those people were very dangerous. Take care of yourself. Here, we find out that Gukdu is Bong Soon's childhood friend. He lives in her neighborhood. Bong Soon has a one-sided love for him, but Gukdu still doesn't know anything about her powers. Then we see another girl walking home from the street at night. Just then, she sees a man follow and kill her. In the morning, seeing her, everyone is shocked and says that who could do such a thing in their area. The next day, when Bong Soon goes to the office, she gets scared seeing a frightening photo. She asks Minhyuk, what is this? Minhyuk explains that this is why he hired Bong Soon for the bodyguard job, because for the past 2 months, someone has been threatening him from unknown numbers and someone follows him every day too. Bong Soon asks, so why didn't you tell the police? Minhyuk says, I don't trust the police. I want to catch the blackmailer myself. Minhyuk asks, will you help me? Bong Soon agrees. When both are sitting in the office, the same murder from last night is being shown on the news. Just then, a call comes to Minhyuk's phone from an unknown number. He puts it on speaker. It's the same blackmailer on the call. He says, you were taking my threats lightly until now, right? Now see what I do to you. Hearing this, both Bong Soon and Minhyuk are shocked. They look at each other in surprise. Now, after talking to the blackmailer, Minhyuk's mood is off. He says he won't work today, but will go out for an outing. Bong Soon also has to go with him. Then, Minhyuk goes to a mall and does a lot of shopping and starts handing his many shopping bags to Bong Soon. Then Minhyuk asks her, do you want to get anything too? So Bong Soon says, no, but if you want to get me something out of your own happiness, you can. Yes, so Minhyuk takes her with him and gets her an ice cream, seeing which Bong Soon gets very angry because she thinks Minhyuk will buy her an expensive thing too. Then Bong Soon is happy watching Minhyuk's drone flying. Just then, Minhyuk's stalker also arrives there. Minhyuk and Bong Soon see him and start chasing him, so he quickly starts running. The drone is also behind that stalker, so it captures his bike's number plate. Then Minhyuk goes to drop Bong Soon at her house. Just then, Minhyuk gets hungry, so Bong Soon takes him to her dad's bakery. But she doesn't tell Minhyuk that it is her dad's shop. Now at the shop, Bong Soon's mom, dad, and their friends are staring at Minhyuk like crazy. Bong Soon tells her mom and dad to keep quiet, but to Bong Soon's mom, Minhyuk seems like the perfect partner for her. After taking many things, Bong Soon leaves from there with Minhyuk. Seeing Minhyuk's expensive car, Bong Soon's mom and her friends are very impressed. They say, it seems like Bong Soon has hit the jackpot. The boy is so rich along with being handsome. So Bong Soon's mom becomes happy. In the next scene, when Bong Soon comes to her house, her friend has come to meet her. She tells her about her boss. So after a lot of searching, she tells Bong Soon her boss is gay, meaning he is interested in boys instead of girls. Hearing this, Bong Soon becomes sad. Then when she's having dinner with her family, her mom tells her, do whatever it takes to marry your boss because I like him a lot. To this, Bong Soon says, I can't do that because he is gay. So mom, after thinking for a bit, says, what's the big deal? A person has flaws, but he is very rich, so you should attract him towards you. This makes Bong Soon very angry at her mom. In the next scene, we see Gukdu investigating the crime scene and then leaving. A little while later, a girl passes by and the criminal grabs her and starts to kill her. She is about to be killed when the criminal sees a man coming and runs away. Then Guk-do comes there, investigates, and takes the girl to the hospital. The man who last saw the criminal tells the police, "I didn't see his face, but his feet were very big." Then, seeing the crimes happening in that area, CCTV cameras are installed there. Guk-do is at the hospital with the victim girl, and looking at her pictures, it is confirmed to him that the criminal's intention was not to kill the girl, but to hurt her and silence her. The next day, Bong Soon has come to the hospital to meet the secretary. When she meets Guk-do there, he tells her, "My duty is to protect the injured victim." Guk-do has to go to the washroom, so he leaves Bong Soon standing there and goes. As soon as he leaves, a doctor comes there, who gives the girl an injection, which starts to worsen her condition. Then, he takes that girl from there in front of Bong Soon, under the pretext of an operation. When Guk-do finds this out, he is confirmed that he was not a doctor, but the criminal. So he runs and starts looking for the criminal in the hospital, but the criminal puts the girl in a wheelchair and escapes from there. Bong Soon apologizes to Guk-do, saying, "This all happened because of me," but Guk-do says, "It's not your mistake." So Bong Soon says, "I heard his voice, so maybe I can help you." Then Guk-do arranges a bodyguard for Bong Soon's security because he thinks that criminal will definitely harm Bong Soon. Seeing Bong Soon's bodyguard, Minhyuk says, "You are my bodyguard's bodyguard? How strange." Then he tells him, Bong Soon is very strong, she doesn't need any bodyguard. But that bodyguard doesn't agree. After this, we see the criminal, who has brought that girl to a place. From his actions, it is clear that he is a psycho man. He puts that girl in a wedding dress and calls her his bride. Then, he clicks a photo of that girl and then puts that photo on the wall and says that he will bring many more girls here. In the next scene, Bong Soon has come to one of Minhyuk's events, where she starts looking for the stalker. After the event, when Minhyuk and his bodyguard go to the washroom, as Minhyuk comes out, Bong Soon asks about her bodyguard, to which he says, "He was just here." Just then, a man pushes Bong Soon and starts running from there. Then they both go to the washroom, and there Bong Soon's bodyguard is lying in an injured state. Someone had mistaken him for Minhyuk's bodyguard and stabbed him so that he could get to Minhyuk. Then they both bring him to the hospital. Then Minhyuk tells Bong Soon to quit the job because he thinks there is a lot of danger in it. But Bong Soon refuses, saying, "My duty is to protect you, so I will not leave you." Bong Soon asks him, "Do you suspect anyone?" He replies, "If there was only one, I would tell you. My stepbrother, my competitors, or the people I have defeated in games. It could be any of them." In the next scene, we see Guk-do meeting his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Hee-ji. Guk-do is then told on a call that someone has attacked Bong Soon's bodyguard, which makes him even more worried for Bong Soon. On the other hand, Minhyuk asks Bong Soon to stay at his house tonight, saying, "Protect me." At first, Bong Soon doesn't agree, but Minhyuk says, "What if someone harms me while I'm sleeping at night?" So Bong Soon agrees, but on one condition that she will take double the salary from him. After this, she comes to his house with Minhyuk. Just then, she gets a call from Guk-do, who asked for her location. Then Minhyuk makes noodles and feeds them to Bong Soon. So Bong Soon tells him, "The bakery I took you to yesterday was my dad's." To which Minhyuk says, "That's why everyone there was staring at me so intently." In a short while, Guk-do also arrives there and asks Bong Soon, "What are you doing in this house with him so late at night? Don't you have to go home?" And he starts taking her home by holding her hand. Minhyuk grabs Bong Soon's other hand and says, "Today Bong Soon will stay at my house because I need her." Guk-do gets angry and says, "I will take Bong Soon with me." Minhyuk says, "If you have the courage, then try and take her." Seeing both of them angry, Bong Soon tells Guk-do, "Minhyuk is my boss, and I am staying here for some important work." Guk-do says, "What kind of work is it that is happening at home instead of the office? And that too at night?" Bong Soon says, "This is a company's secret, so I can't tell you." Guk-do says, "I'll tell your mom." Then he calls her mom. Her mom is happy to hear this. She gives permission for Bong Soon to stay there and tells Guk-do to leave. She tells Bong Soon, "Put your full effort into impressing Minhyuk." Guk-do is still not willing to leave Bong Soon. So Minhyuk says, "You don't need to worry because I'm not interested in girls but in boys." Then he starts to touch Guk-do, which shocks both Guk-do and Bong Soon because she thinks what is written about Minhyuk on social media is true. Then Guk-do leaves from there. After this, Bong Soon looks at Minhyuk's house and is impressed by his expensive furniture. Just then, her eyes fall on a painting of a mysterious boy wearing a hoodie. Just then, a gate opens from that painting, from where Bong Soon goes into the basement through a lift, which is Minhyuk's gaming room. Then they both enjoy playing games there. After this, Minhyuk tells her, "After my mom's death, I still miss her a lot, and I hate my stepbrothers because they used to bully me a lot in childhood." So Bong Soon feels very sad for Minhyuk. Then he asks Bong Soon about Guk-do. "Do you like him?" She tells him, I have liked him since school time, but I have never told him. The next day when she wakes up, she starts screaming, seeing Minhyuk lying next to her. Minhyuk tells her, I lay down with you because the floor was cold. After this, she makes a lot of breakfast for Minhyuk. Then, while having breakfast, Minhyuk asks her, when are you introducing me to Guk-do again? Because I liked him a lot. Bong Soon says, have you no shame? I know you are interested in boys, but that doesn't mean you should snatch my love from me. Minhyuk, also to tease her, says, now my heart has fallen for him, so I will definitely make him my wife. Hearing this, Bong Soon gets angry. She shoves the metal chopsticks into the table, which scares Minhyuk a lot. After this, they catch the owner of the bike whose picture they had taken with the drone. Bong Soon brings that owner out of his house. Then Minhyuk, after tying him with a rope, asks his plan, why are you stalking me? The owner says, my bike was stolen 3 months ago. Hearing this, both of them say sorry to him, because he is not the one blackmailing Minhyuk. In the next scene, Bong Soon has come to the police station with Minhyuk. Minhyuk tells Guk-do, someone attacked Bong Soon's bodyguard thinking he was my bodyguard. Guk-do says, then you should get your own bodyguard. Minhyuk is about to tell him that Bong Soon is his bodyguard, but Bong Soon stops him by stepping on his foot. But this injures Minhyuk. After a hospital checkup, it is found that he has a fracture in his foot fingers. Then Guk-do also comes there with his girlfriend. He introduces her to Bong Soon and her brother. Bong Soon becomes sad seeing his girlfriend. Guk-do asks her the reason for coming to the hospital, so she says, I came with my boss. Then he takes her aside and says, your boss is very weird, so you should stay away from him. Bong Soon replies, you have a girlfriend, so why are you so worried about me? Hearing this, Guk-do becomes silent. Just then, Minhyuk arrives, so Bong Soon leaves with him. Then Minhyuk has dinner with his family, so he asks Bong Soon to come with him too. Then they both reach Minhyuk's dad's house. Minhyuk's stepmother asks to stop Bong Soon outside, but Minhyuk says, Bong Soon will also have dinner with me. Then, they all are sitting at the dinner table, which includes Minhyuk's dad and his 3 stepbrothers. Minhyuk tells Bong Soon via message, you have to find the blackmailer among them. Then, Minhyuk's dad announces that he wants to give 50% of his business to Minhyuk because he feels that only Minhyuk can take over his business. Hearing this, his stepbrothers get jealous and start speaking against Minhyuk. So Bong Soon observes them all well. Then after dinner, she tells Minhyuk, I suspect your dad. Minhyuk replies, if he wanted to harm me, he would never have given me 50%. In the next scene, we see the criminal putting another girl in a car and taking her away. Then he starts to erase all the proofs. He cuts the car's number plate and destroys this car so that no one gets any kind of evidence. On the other side, Bong Soon is selecting her game character. Just then, she gets a call from Guk-do. He asks her, are you at your boss's house today too? Bong Soon says, no, I am at my house today. Guk-do explains to her, now you are grown up, so you should not trust anyone's words. Then he talks about his girlfriend to Bong Soon, which makes Bong Soon angry, so she cuts the call. She is very sad. Just then, she gets a call from Minhyuk. He starts asking her strange questions. How are you so powerful? Are you a boy by any chance? Tell me the truth. Bong Soon angrily says, yes, I am a boy. Will you date me? Then she cuts Minhyuk's call. She is missing Guk-do a lot. Just then, she sees him coming into her room. He is wearing his uniform. He extends his hand towards Bong Soon, and Bong Soon shyly is about to hold it. Just then, Minhyuk also arrives there. He pushes Guk-do back and hugs Bong Soon. Just then, her eyes open, meaning this was all Bong Soon's dream. In the next scene, Bong Soon goes to Minhyuk's house, where he asks her to cook food for him. Bong Soon says, am I your maid that I should cook too? He replies, my foot got hurt because of you. Otherwise, I would have cooked for myself. Then Bong Soon starts cooking for him. She first crushes apples with her hands to make juice for him, and then she cooks a lot of food for him. Her eyes fall on the table into which she had shoved the chopsticks. She starts to pull it out, but Minhyuk tells her not to. After the food is ready, she calls Minhyuk to the table. Seeing so much food, he gets emotional. He is reminded of his mom. Then Minhyuk takes Bong Soon to the park with him, where he is flying a drone. Bong Soon gets tired and sits there. Just then, that stalker starts firing at Minhyuk, so Minhyuk picks up Bong Soon and hides behind a tree. But still, that stalker shoots Minhyuk in the arm and runs away from there. Bong Soon gets very worried. Without caring for anyone, she picks up Minhyuk and starts taking him to the hospital. Seeing this, everyone present there is shocked. Then, Bong Soon, in a hurry, throws him into the car instead of laying him down gently, which causes a head injury. He starts screaming loudly. Bong Soon says sorry to him and starts to take him to the hospital, but Minhyuk says, that bullet was fake, so take me home. Then she brings him home and starts applying medicine to his wound herself. Minhyuk is in pain, but seeing Bong Soon so close, he forgets all his pain. Then he starts looking at her and says, "Who are you after all? Are you some lab experiment by any chance? Because no human has this much power." Bong Soon doesn't say anything to him, so he asks, "Are you an alien by any chance?" Bong Soon gets irritated and says, "You should think about that stalker instead of this nonsense." Just then, Minhyuk gets a call from the blackmailer. He tells him, "Today it was a fake bullet, but if you don't refuse to take your dad's company, the bullet can be real too." Then Minhyuk becomes sad and tells Bong Soon to go to her home too, because he wanted to be alone. Then Bong Soon comes home. She is sad, so her dad gives her some money, saying, "I saved this for you, hiding it from your mom. Go and buy a dress for yourself with it." Seeing her dad's love, Bong Soon hugs him. In the next scene, Bong Soon comes out wearing a new dress and she sees her school. Just then, we see a flashback. Once she had heard Guk-do saying to someone, "I like delicate girls who need to be protected." After this, Bong Soon had decided that she would never tell Guk-do about her powers. One day, she is going to propose to Guk-do when she hears him talking to a friend who is already Guk-do's girlfriend. Hearing this, she gets sad and leaves from there. In the present, Bong Soon makes a plan to go to a movie with Kyung-shim. On the other side, Minhyuk is sitting very worried. He calls his stepbrother Dong-seok and tells him about the incident that happened to him, and also about the blackmailer. His brother asks him, "How can I help you?" He replies, "Just tell my other brothers that I am not the 8-year-old Minhyuk who was scared of them, because I know they both are behind all this." Then we see a flashback when Minhyuk was little. His two brothers used to scare him and lock him in a cupboard, which scared him a lot. Dong-seok used to take him out. That's why he trusts only Dong-seok in the whole world. On the other side, Kyung-shim is booking movie tickets when Bong Soon gets a call from Minhyuk. He asks her, "What are you doing?" She tells him, "I'm going to watch a movie with my friend." So Minhyuk also says he'll go with them. Then they all come to the theater together, where Bong Soon is crying while watching an action movie. Seeing her cry, Minhyuk is surprised. Then coming out, Minhyuk says, "I am spending so much time with you, you surprise me every day." Then they all go to a bar, where Bong Soon drinks a lot. Getting drunk, she pulls out the pool pipe and starts spinning it in both hands, which surprises everyone there, and they start making videos of her. The next day when Bong Soon wakes up, her mom scolds her, asking, "Do you remember what you did last night?" Bong Soon thinks about last night, and she remembers when Minhyuk came to drop her home. She misbehaved with him a lot and also made fun of him by calling him gay. After remembering all this, Bong Soon thinks, "Now I am going to lose my job." On the other side, Minhyuk is smiling, thinking about Bong Soon. He was not offended by her words from yesterday. He calls Bong Soon and asks her to come to the office, which makes Bong Soon happy. Then Bong Soon gets ready and leaves for the company when she bumps into someone who says sorry to her and moves on. Just then, she remembers, "This is the criminal's voice that I heard in the hospital." Then she starts looking for him, but she doesn't find him anywhere. Then she comes to the company by metro, where seeing a picture of women warriors, she thinks, "If I were really a woman warrior, then something would change." Then she imagines that warrior's weapon flying and coming into Bong Soon's hand. Just then, Minhyuk comes and says, "Close your mouth, a fly will go in." Then they both go for lunch together. Seeing an emergency watch on her hand, Minhyuk asks, "Who gave you this?" She says, "Guk-do gave it for emergencies." Then she tells him, "I saw that criminal this morning, but I didn't see his face." Hearing this, Minhyuk says, "Now we should hire another bodyguard." Bong Soon says, "Don't worry, whatever happens, I will protect you." Hearing this, Minhyuk starts to smile. On the other side, Bong Soon's mom sees her bar video. She gets angry and calls her, scolding, "What is the need for you to show your powers to the world?" Because that video had gone viral. Seeing that video, Bong Soon is also stunned. She hides under the table and starts crying. Minhyuk, not seeing her, goes to her desk and sees her under the table. He asks her, "Are you okay?" Bong Soon starts hiding her face. Minhyuk takes her mobile, watches that video, and makes fun of her. "Now you have become famous." But later, Minhyuk calls someone and gets those videos removed from the website. Then, he also calls Guk-do and tells him, "Today, Bong Soon bumped into that criminal, which means her life is in danger now." In the next scene, Minhyuk sees Bong Soon sleeping with her head on her table. Seeing her, he smiles. He is about to touch her head when Guk-do arrives there. Minhyuk signals him to be quiet, but Guk-do wakes Bong Soon up and asks, "Why didn't you tell me about bumping into the criminal?" Then a fight starts between Guk-do and Minhyuk over the matter. "I will drop Bong Soon home," the other says. "No, I will drop her." Bong Soon says, "I am not so special that you two are fighting." Then they both become silent. After this, they both tell each other to drop her home, which makes Bong Soon feel very insulted. In the end, Minhyuk has to drop her home. Bong Soon's mom is very happy to see him and starts packing a walnut pie for him to take. Minhyuk tries to pay them, but she refuses, saying, now he is also part of their family. In the next scene, Bong Soon sees that her pool dance videos have been removed. She becomes very happy. Kyung-shim says, who could do this? Did your boss get them removed by any chance? But Bong Soon says, no, he would rather make that video go more viral. Then Kyung-shim goes to buy fruit. She notices that someone is following her. She gets very scared and starts running. Bong Soon is calling her, but she doesn't attend her call either. So Bong Soon starts to worry about her. Then the criminal catches Kyung-shim and starts hitting her. Just as he is about to attack Kyung-shim with a rod, Bong Soon comes and grabs the rod and bends it, saying, how dare you touch my friend? Then she gives him a powerful kick and looks at Kyung-shim. The criminal runs away from there. After coming to the hospital, her brother tells her Kyung-shim will get well soon. She has only minor injuries. Then when Kyung-shim regains consciousness, Bong Soon sadly tells her, I should have gone to get the fruits myself instead of you. Her friend calms her down. On the other side, that criminal is putting a bandage on his wound. He is getting very angry thinking about Bong Soon. In the hospital, Guk-do gets angry at Bong Soon and says, why didn't you use the emergency watch? She replies, I forgot it at home. Then he tells her, it's not safe for you to stay here now because the criminal has seen your face 3 times. You should stay at your boss's house. Then he also talks to Minhyuk about this, so Minhyuk also agrees to let her stay at his house. Guk-do says, but never touch her. Minhyuk replies, do you really consider Bong Soon your friend? Just a friend. Guk-do doesn't answer his question, but tells him to take care of Bong Soon and leaves. So Minhyuk says, Bong Soon, I don't think your love is one-sided. Then Guk-do comes to drop Bong Soon at the company. He asks her, why are you wearing so much makeup? Bong Soon asks, do I look bad? He replies, no, you look pretty. So Bong Soon starts to smile. Minhyuk feels jealous seeing them talking. Even after coming inside, Bong Soon is smiling, thinking about Guk-do. So Minhyuk starts to scold her. Then Bong Soon comes to stay at Minhyuk's house. But when she lies down to sleep, she thinks about the criminal and how he is attacking girls. Then she decides to catch the criminal, so she goes to her area. She notices that someone is behind her, so she turns around to look. It is Minhyuk. He asks her, what are you doing here? Bong Soon says, I want to use my powers to catch that criminal. On the other hand, Guk-do is at the police station thinking about Bong Soon. I left her alone at Minhyuk's house. So he starts to go somewhere. There, Bong Soon comes back with Minhyuk when the doorbell rings. Minhyuk sees that Guk-do has arrived. He says, I will also spend the night here. Hearing this, they both are shocked. Then Bong Soon starts to get happy seeing Guk-do worried for her. Minhyuk says, if you were so worried, you shouldn't have left her at my house in the first place. Guk-do replies, she is not a thing to be left. I will sleep here on the sofa. Bong Soon says, why will you sleep on the sofa? Minhyuk says, then will he sleep with me in my room? Guk-do says, I have no objection. But Bong Soon says, no, you can't sleep with him because my boss is gay. Minhyuk doesn't like this, so taking revenge, he tells Guk-do that Bong Soon is his bodyguard. Guk-do doesn't believe it because according to him, Bong Soon is a weak girl. So Minhyuk says, when you find out the truth, then come to me. Then Guk-do says, we will sleep in separate rooms. But Minhyuk thinks, if he sleeps in a separate room, Bong Soon will definitely go to him and kiss him. Guk-do thinks, if that happens, Minhyuk will kiss Bong Soon. Whereas Bong Soon thinks, if they sleep in separate rooms, something will happen between Minhyuk and Guk-do. Therefore, all three say, let's sleep in one place or go out and hang out. Then the three of them go to a bar, where Minhyuk and Guk-do play different games, and Bong Soon is watching both of them. After this, there is a drinking competition. Bong Soon asks, can she drink too? But they both say no. Then they both start drinking shot after shot continuously, which gets both of them drunk, but neither was ready to back down. In the end, both of them pass out right there. So Bong Soon looks at them and says, these two were talking about protecting me, and now look at their own condition. Then she makes them sit on the side of the road and goes to get hangover medicine. Just then, two boys start to steal their purses. Bong Soon comes and tells them, put back what you stole, but they start harassing Bong Soon herself. So Bong Soon picks one up and throws him to one side and the other to the other side. While doing this, the gangster's boss sees Bong Soon. Seeing her do this, he starts to believe his companion's words. He says, who is this girl after all? An alien or a vampire? Then Bong Soon comes home and puts both of them on the sofa. In the middle of the night when Minhyuk wakes up, he is on the floor, and Guk-do is sleeping on the sofa with his blanket. He thinks, Bong Soon treats me so badly. Then he takes the blanket from Guk-do and goes to his room to sleep. The next day, Bong Soon prepares a lot of breakfast for both of them. Guk-do asks Bong Soon, "How did we get back?" She says, "You both walked back on your own." Then she pretends to open a jam bottle in front of Guk-do to show that she is a normal girl. Guk-do takes the bottle from her and opens it. Minhyuk is shocked to see what a drama queen Bong Soon is. Just then, Minhyuk gets a call from the blackmailer. He starts threatening him again, but Minhyuk is not scared of him and starts replying, "Come and talk to my face." Then, while leaving, Guk-do tells Minhyuk, "You should get police help to catch that blackmailer." Upon going to the office, Minhyuk's secretary tells him that their company's shares are going down because the news of him being gay is going viral. So Minhyuk understands that the blackmailer did this. Bong Soon tells Minhyuk, "Don't worry, last time my videos were also removed from the internet by themselves." Minhyuk is very angry. He calls someone and gets all those articles and videos deleted, and in the end, he also thanks him for deleting Bong Soon's video. Hearing this, Bong Soon is surprised and then thanks Minhyuk from the heart. Minhyuk becomes happy. After this, Minhyuk finds out about the stalker. That blackmailer works for the gangster's CEO. Then they both are going somewhere when they see a man yelling at a woman. Then he pulls her out of the car. Now seeing this, Bong Soon gets very angry. She goes and tells that man, "Don't do that." So he starts misbehaving with Bong Soon too. Minhyuk comes and tells the man some rules and makes him leave. But when that man goes forward, he gets scared seeing Bong Soon sitting in his car. Bong Soon tells him to take her to a deserted place. Minhyuk is also following the man's car. Then, at a deserted place, Bong Soon grabs the man's car and starts spinning it round and round, which makes the man's condition worse. Minhyuk also gets scared seeing all this. Bong Soon, seeing Minhyuk there, says, "Boss, what are you doing here?" But after seeing all this, Minhyuk doesn't even have the courage to speak. After this, both of them go to the seaside, where Minhyuk asks her the reason for her powers. She tells him, "I was born this way. I got this power in my inheritance." Minhyuk asks, "Will your future daughter also have this power?" Bong Soon says, "Yes." He says, "This is impossible." Then seeing Bong Soon sad, Minhyuk says, "It's not your fault. Just as my being handsome is no credit to me, similarly, your being strong is not your mistake." Then he says, "You told me that you want to use your powers for good, so I will help you in that work because you need training." Hearing this, Bong Soon is surprised and looks at Minhyuk. In the next scene, Hae-ji tells Guk-do, "I want to break up because I have started to like someone else." Then we see that Guk-do is not affected by this because he has started to like Bong Soon. On the other hand, Minhyuk brings Bong Soon to his dad's house. He tells her, "I will help you in your training, but you will also have to help me." Bong Soon doesn't understand what he means. Then, when they are all having dinner, Minhyuk's dad tells him to get married so that the rumors against him will stop. He also offers to arrange a blind date for him. Minhyuk quickly says, "There is no need for a blind date because I already have a girlfriend." Then he holds Bong Soon's hand and says, "This is my girlfriend." Hearing this, everyone is shocked. Then Minhyuk's dad asks Bong Soon about her family business. She says, "We do walnut business." Minhyuk says, "They have a walnut pie shop, but I will marry her and soon give you a grandson or granddaughter." Hearing this, a walnut gets stuck in Bong Soon's throat. Then on the way back, Bong Soon gets very angry at Minhyuk. She says, "I am not from an open-minded family. If my mom finds out about this, she will be very angry." Just then, Bong Soon gets a call from her mom. She says, "Hasn't your boss come under your control yet? If not, take him to a bar and make him drink a lot." Bong Soon says, "I am perfectly fine," and cuts the call. The next day, Minhyuk wakes Bong Soon up by whistling, "Your training will start from today." Then he takes her with him and asks her to climb a very long wall. Bong Soon quickly climbs that wall. After going up, she asks, "What should I do next? Should I come down?" But Minhyuk is in shock that she did such a hard task in a few minutes. Then Bong Soon comes down on her own. Then he gives her some more hard tasks, but Bong Soon does those tasks quickly too. In the next scene, Bong Soon tells the police station about the criminal. "I didn't see his face, but I saw his eyes, and there was a smell of metal coming from him." Then she comes out and Guk-do tells her about his and Hae-ji's breakup. Bong Soon is quite surprised. Then she says, "Don't you worry. She will realize her mistake very soon." Then Guk-do tells Bong Soon, "Sleep with your room door locked at your boss's house, because I have found out that he is not gay." On the other hand, we see gangsters protecting the ladies in Bong Soon's area less and harassing them more. Just then, an old lady comes there who is Bong Soon's grandmother. She beats those gangsters and makes them run away from there. Then, when she goes to Bong Soon's house, her mom is very happy to see her own mom. Then we see a boy buying medicine in a medical store. That boy asks the sales girl, "Nowadays the danger in this area has increased at night, so aren't you scared?" The girl says, "No, because God will protect me." Then we see the criminal talking to that girl and he takes off his mask. So we find out that he is the same boy from the medical store. Then that boy is behind the same medical store girl. He hits her and makes her unconscious. On the other hand, when Bong Soon is sleeping, someone tries to unlock her door and then goes into Minhyuk's room and puts a knife to his neck, which scares Minhyuk. As soon as Bong Soon comes out of her room to drink water, she sees a man there who starts to attack her. Bong Soon punches him. The man is shocked and starts to scream. Just then his partner, who is about to kill Minhyuk, gets distracted. Minhyuk twists his hand and starts to protect himself. Just then, Bong Soon comes there and hits him on the head with a frying pan, making him unconscious. Then Bong Soon ties them both with a rope. Minhyuk, looking at them, says, "These are the same stalkers." Bong Soon locks them in the basement. After this, both of them sleep in the hall. In the morning, one of the stalkers' mobile rings, so Minhyuk picks it up. On the other side, it is the gangster's boss. He asks, "Is the job done? Did you two kill Minhyuk and catch Bong Soon?" Minhyuk asks, "What enmity do you people have with Bong Soon?" He is shocked to hear Minhyuk's voice. Minhyuk says, "Tell me the name of your mastermind, otherwise I will tell the police the whole story with proof." In the next scene, Minhyuk gets ready to go to his dad's company meeting. In the meeting, he tells about the blackmailer and the attack on himself, and he also shows the blackmailers on the screen, which shocks everyone. He says, "I have no interest in my dad's company, but I don't want to give my dad's company into the hands of the one who is behind all this." Then he officially joins his dad's company, and before leaving he says, "I am not interested in boys but in girls." Later, Minhyuk's dad asks him, "Why didn't you tell me about this?" He replies, "I suspect my brothers, and I will catch the real culprit very soon." In the next scene, the gangster's boss comes to tell Minhyuk the real mastermind. He gives Minhyuk a drive. The mastermind's voice is recorded in this. Then, when Minhyuk checks that drive, it has the voice of his brother, whom he trusted the most. This shocks him. Then, when Bong Soon finds this out, she is also shocked. But seeing Minhyuk sad, she brings him to the park, where they both enjoy a lot and take different rides. Then she takes him to a restaurant and feeds him with her own hands, which reduces Minhyuk's sadness to a great extent. In the next scene, Minhyuk is going back with Bong Soon on a bus, when he tells her that one day he was going on a bus like this. Then the tire got punctured and the bus was about to fall off a bridge. Just then, he says, "My mom sent an angel to save me." He continues, "I didn't see her face, but she is very important to me." Hearing this, Bong Soon is surprised, and before she can say anything, Bong Soon gets a call from her mom, who tells her about her grandma, so she decides to go home. Then, Minhyuk drops Bong Soon home, and her mom tells her own mom, "This is my son-in-law." So grandma meets Minhyuk and calls him son-in-law, which surprises Minhyuk. Bong Soon tells her grandma not to say that. Then Minhyuk comes to his dad's house. There he remembers that in his childhood, his middle brother used to play with him and protect him from the other brothers. Remembering this, Minhyuk gets emotional. Then he talks to his brother, asking why he did such a thing. His brother apologizes to him. Minhyuk says, "You have behaved well with me in the past, so I will not tell anyone about you, but if you do this again, I will not forgive you." Minhyuk's dad also hears them talking, from which he finds out that his middle son was the blackmailer. In the next scene, Minhyuk tells Bong Soon, "If you control your power, I will take you in my game developing team." Bong Soon agrees. Minhyuk asks her to punch the punching bag lightly, but as soon as Bong Soon punches, a hole is made in the bag, which shocks Minhyuk again. Then he teaches Bong Soon to dodge a punch without any injury, in which Bong Soon becomes successful. Then while training, they both come quite close. Then Minhyuk asks Bong Soon to hit a stone lightly. As soon as Bong Soon does, that stone gets stuck in the table. Then, after a lot of practice, Bong Soon hits the stone lightly, which makes both of them happy. Minhyuk adds her to his company as a game developer, but this makes Bong Soon so happy that she accidentally hits the stone table game, which breaks it. In anger, Minhyuk says, "I take my words back," and then leaves from there. In the next scene, Hee-ji confesses her feelings to Bong Soon's brother. Just then, Bong Soon arrives there. She tells Hee-ji, "Reconsider your relationship with Guk-do," and also forbids her brother from getting into a relationship with Hee-ji, saying, "I don't want you to date a girl whose feelings keep changing." In the next scene, in the hospital, a fire in the dustbin outside Kyung-shim's room diverts the police officer's attention, due to which the criminal is about to go and give Kyung-shim an injection. Just then, Bong Soon arrives. She recognizes the criminal by his eyes and makes a noise. The criminal runs away from there. After this, Guk-do gets angry at Bong Soon, asking, "Why were you trying to catch the criminal?" Bong Soon also angrily says, "You just care about your girlfriend." In the next scene, the gangster's leader comes to kill Bong Soon. When he attacks Bong Soon, Guk-do arrives there and starts hitting him. Bong Soon gets scared. Then Bong Soon, while saving the leader, uses her power and throws Guk-do far away, which surprises Guk-do. Then he tells Bong Soon to go home safely and takes the leader with him to the police station. Then Guk-do asks the leader, "What harm has Bong Soon done to you that you are after that poor girl?" He replies, "Don't call her poor, she is very strong." He then tells him his whole story, but Guk-do still doesn't believe it. He locks him in jail. After this, Guk-do thinks, "How did Bong Soon throw me so far? Is she hiding something from me? Is she not?" He starts thinking about Bong Soon. The next day, Bong Soon comes to the office, and seeing Minhyuk's photo on the laptop, she gets scared thinking this is not her laptop. Minhyuk tells her, "You want to join the game development team, right? For this, you will have to prepare a presentation, so I have saved all the data in this new laptop." This makes Bong Soon happy. Then, Minhyuk conducts Bong Soon's self-training. He teaches her how to control her power and about self-defense. Then they run and do boxing together. While doing all this, Bong Soon thinks, "I have got this power for a reason, so I have to use it to teach that criminal a lesson." In the next scene, Guk-do meets Hee-ji and says, "It was all my fault that I didn't give you time. Maybe because I loved someone else. Whenever I see her, I just keep scolding her, because I'm so worried about her that I can't see her in any trouble. But I am understanding my feelings now, so now you can leave without any regret." Meaning, he now knows that he likes Bong Soon. The next day, Minhyuk tells Bong Soon to get ready. "I have to introduce you to my dad." Then he picks her up and takes her to his dad's house. Minhyuk's dad asks Bong Soon, "Why do you like Minhyuk?" Bong Soon says, "Because he is very handsome and smart." Hearing this, no one there reacts, so Bong Soon says, "The truth is, Minhyuk is very crazy, that's why I like him." Minhyuk's dad starts to smile. After eating, Minhyuk's dad talks to Bong Soon alone that after his mom's death he had sent him abroad, where he used to date many girls. Then, because of our company's reputation, he started to stay away from girls. Since then, this rumor spread that he is gay. He adds, "But now I am happy that he has chosen a girl who understands him." He asks her to always take care of Minhyuk. After this, Minhyuk takes Bong Soon to his mom's grave. He says in his heart there, "Mom, today I have brought someone special to meet you." After this, at the seaside, Minhyuk tells Bong Soon, "You are such a good girl that no one can just be in a friendship relationship with you. If someone says so, it's because they are afraid of losing you." He says, "There is just one step's distance between friendship and love." Now seeing Minhyuk so close to her, Bong Soon starts to get attracted to him for the first time. Minhyuk is also looking at her with love. Then he leaves from there. Then we see the gangsters who are making a plan to catch Bong Soon. The leader says, "We will have to emotionally blackmail her and call her somewhere." Then they mimic Bong Soon's mom's voice and call Bong Soon. "We have kidnapped your mom. Come to this location." Bong Soon gets worried and tells her dad and Kyung-shim the whole story and leaves for that location. After she leaves, Kyung-shim calls Bong Soon's mom, who says, "I am perfectly fine." Bong Soon's dad gets worried. When Bong Soon reaches the location, she gets a call from Minhyuk, so she tells him too, due to which Minhyuk also starts following her. Bong Soon's dad tells Guk-do the whole story too, so he also starts tracing her phone and leaves. Bong Soon, seeing the gangsters, starts asking about her mom, so they smile. Just then she gets a call from Kyung-shim, who tells her that her mom is perfectly fine. Then the boss says, "You have beaten my people a lot, so you apologize to me." Bong Soon says, "Not me, you will apologize." Then Bong Soon's fight starts. She puts on a hoodie and starts catching and beating them one by one. Just then, Minhyuk arrives there, and seeing Bong Soon, he remembers, this is the same girl who saved him. Then Guk-do also comes there and is shocked to see Bong Soon fighting like this. Then Bong Soon goes to the boss, who is scared after seeing all this. Just then, a man is about to attack Bong Soon from behind with a knife, so Minhyuk and Guk-do run towards Bong Soon. Before that knife hits Bong Soon, Minhyuk comes in front of her, due to which he gets stabbed. This shocks Bong Soon. Then he asks Bong Soon, "Is she okay?" She says, "Yes." Then he closes his eyes and Bong Soon starts crying loudly. Then Minhyuk is admitted to the hospital. Upon regaining consciousness, Minhyuk says, "It's good that the knife hit me. If it had hit you, I would never have been able to forgive myself." Bong Soon starts crying even more. So to make her laugh, Minhyuk says, "Do you think I will say that since I gave you the job? I've only been getting hurt? How many stitches are there now?" Bong Soon tells him, "There are 8. He gets angry and says, "That's why it's hurting so much." On the other hand, Guk-do is still shocked knowing the truth about Bong Soon. He remembers in school, whenever he was about to lose in games, Bong Soon would use her power to make him win. Then he meets Minhyuk and asks, "You knew about Bong Soon's powers from the beginning?" Minhyuk says, "Yes, that's why I made her my bodyguard, but she didn't want you to know about it." Hearing this, Guk-do becomes even sadder. Then Bong Soon's brother apologizes to Gukdu. "Yeah, she was born so strong, but sorry we hid this truth from you." Then he requests him, "Don't tell anyone about her powers, otherwise she could get into big trouble." Gukdu agrees. Then Minhyuk's dad comes to meet him. When he finds out that he did this to save someone else, he gets very angry with him. Minhyuk says, "I have endured greater pains than this. My brothers have never liked me from the beginning, and my stepmother also considers me a burden. When I was a burden to you, why did you keep me in your house? Why didn't you throw me out with my mom?" Hearing this, his dad gets angry with him. Bong Soon, listening to all this from outside, feels very sad. She feels that Minhyuk has no one in this world. In the next scene, Gukdu, while searching for the criminal, reaches the same car garage where he sees a man and recognizes that he is the same one who became a witness in the first case. Gukdu becomes suspicious of him. He starts checking the garage on the pretext of getting his car fixed. Before he could go to the girl's room, the criminal tells him, "Your car is perfectly fine." Gukdu has to leave from there, but he goes to the police station and tells everyone about it. In the next scene, Bong Soon comes to Minhyuk, and he is very sad. He tells Bong Soon to go home. "I want to be alone." Bong Soon says, "You always do this. When you need someone's company, you isolate yourself, but today I will not leave your side." Minhyuk feels a little relaxed. Then Bong Soon cleans Minhyuk's face, and he starts looking at her. Bong Soon is also looking at him, so he says, "Don't look at anyone else like this except me." Bong Soon asks him, "Why did you take the knife for me? I am just your bodyguard." He asks, "You were the girl from the bus who saved the bus from falling that day, right?" She says, "Yes, that day I used my power for the first time." In the next scene, Bong Soon is very close to Minhyuk while drying his hair. So Minhyuk pulls her closer to him, which shocks her. Minhyuk is then about to kiss her, so Bong Soon also closes her eyes. Seeing her nervous, Minhyuk tells her to go to sleep. After this, she goes and lies down on the sofa and closes her eyes. Minhyuk also lies down on his bed and starts smiling looking at her. Just then, Bong Soon also opens her eyes and starts looking at him. In this way, they fall asleep looking at each other. In the next scene, the criminal looks at Gukdu's resume, and he also has Heeji's picture, meaning Heeji is his next target. After this, Gukdu asks Bong Soon to go to the police station with him. He tells her that another girl has been kidnapped. Minhyuk stops her because he thinks there could be danger in it, but Bong Soon goes with Gukdu. Then Gukdu makes Bong Soon listen to the criminal's voice, so Bong Soon says, "Yes, this is his voice." Just then an officer comes and says that the police have caught the criminal. Gukdu comes out to see, and they find out that they have caught the wrong person. Bong Soon tells them all that the real criminal is the one whose voice she heard, but the officer doesn't agree. Then Bong Soon asks Gukdu for the criminal's name and address. So Gukdu tells her the name, but not the address, because he didn't want Bong Soon to put her life in any trouble. He then tells her to stay away from Minhyuk and leaves from there. Bong Soon doesn't listen to him and comes to Minhyuk, who says, "Now that the criminal has been found, you should stay away from this case." But Bong Soon says, "The man the police have arrested is not the real criminal." On the other hand, Gukdu talks to everyone about the case, but no one listens to him. So he goes to this criminal himself and asks him about the dead girls, but he doesn't tell him. Then when his servant comes, Gukdu has to leave from there. Then Minhyuk, to keep Bong Soon away from this case, transfers her to the gaming team. Hearing this, she becomes very happy. The next day when she comes to the company, she is welcomed very well. All the employees congratulate her, which makes her happy. Then she comes to the office and is shocked to see Minhyuk there. She asks him, "Boss, you got discharged from the hospital so quickly." Minhyuk says, "Yes, so that I can teach you all the work." Then Bong Soon asks him about her room, so he tells her, "Your desk is in my office. You will do your internship right here." Just then a new man enters, whose name is Mr. O. He likes Minhyuk, so he has come to meet him. Bong Soon has to work under him, so he tells Bong Soon in private, "I have found out that you have control over Minhyuk, but he is only mine. So you stay away from him." Then he starts to intentionally bother her, which makes Bong Soon angry. She pulls the table and pushes it against the wall, which shocks Mr. O, and he tells her to pull the table back, but Bong Soon leaves from there. In the next scene, Minhyuk's secretary asks him, "You are very health conscious, so did this knife hit you by mistake, or did you intentionally come in front of Bong Soon to save her?" Bong Soon is also listening to all this from near the door. Minhyuk finds out she is there, so he doesn't reply and leaves from there. After office, Bong Soon goes to drop Minhyuk home, so he holds her hand and makes her sit on the sofa. Then he lies down with his head in her lap. He says, "Stay like this for a while." Bong Soon is shocked. Then, after Minhyuk falls asleep, she gently places his head on a cushion and lets him sleep. Then she looks at the painting and understands that Minhyuk made this painting of her when she saved his life, and which is very special to him. Then she starts to go to her home. Just then she gets a message from Gukdu. He tells her, I have to tell you something, so definitely meet me tomorrow. After this, when Bong Soon goes to her home, Minhyuk's eyes open. He sees her note on the table in which it is written, take your medicine and go to sleep. Then Minhyuk takes medicine and goes to his room. But he is missing Bong Soon a lot, so he can't sleep. Then he leaves to go somewhere. On the other side, Kyung-shim asks Bong Soon, you seem very sad these days, what's the matter? She starts telling her, when I see Minhyuk, my heart starts to vibrate fast. She's about to say more when her mom tells her that Minhyuk has come. Bong Soon goes to him and he says, I have to tell you one thing. Then he places her hand on his heart and says, I like you a lot. Hearing this, Bong Soon is shocked. Then she asks Minhyuk for some time to think, for which he agrees but tells her not to take too much time. After this, Bong Soon gets messages from both Minhyuk and Gukdu to go to the movies, but Bong Soon doesn't reply to anyone. The next day, Bong Soon is in the office when the secretary tells her that the boss will come to the office late due to some work. Just then, Bong Soon gets a message from Minhyuk and Gukdu again. So she messages both of them that due to too much work in the office, she can't go to the movies today. Minhyuk is happy to hear this, thinking he will meet her in the office itself. After this, we see Minhyuk having lunch with Bong Soon. Just then, Mr. O comes there. He tells everyone there that Bong Soon is not a normal girl, but some alien, but no one listens to his words. Minhyuk feeds Bong Soon himself. So Mr. O gets jealous and leaves from there. After this, when Bong Soon comes to Minhyuk, she freezes seeing him working. Then she starts watching him secretly because Minhyuk is looking very handsome and attractive to her. Then after the meeting, Bong Soon gets a call from Gukdu. He asks her to meet him in the company's cafe. So Bong Soon starts to go there. Then Gukdu is about to come to Bong Soon with a gift when he gets a call from his officer. He tells him that now the criminal's target is Hee-ji. Hearing this, he quickly starts to leave from there. On the other side, Bong Soon is waiting for Gukdu in the cafe. Just then, Minhyuk finds out from the secretary that Bong Soon has gone to meet Gukdu, so he goes to the cafe. Gukdu, searching for Hee-ji, goes to her, where he sees her talking to Bong Soon's brother and his heart breaks. Hee-ji also sees him, so he tells her that the criminal's next target is her, so she has to be careful. On the other side, Minhyuk is looking at Bong Soon angrily and tells her, can't you just like me? Hearing this, she is surprised. Then Minhyuk extends his hand towards her and asks her to walk with him, so Bong Soon says, I am different from other girls. He says, I don't care about that, and then hugs her. After this, he goes to drop Bong Soon at her house. Then on the way, Bong Soon gets a call from Gukdu, but she doesn't pick it up. While dropping her home, Minhyuk says, now you can't take back your decision, right? We are in a relationship from today. Bong Soon smiles and goes inside the house. After coming home, Kyung-shim gets a call from Gukdu. He gives her a message to ask Bong Soon to come downstairs. Then, when Bong Soon comes, he tells her, I have become sure about my feelings, so I don't want to remain just your friend. Bong Soon cuts him off and says, I like you as a friend, and I don't want to lose my friend. Hearing this, Gukdu hides that gift and leaves from there, sadly. The next day, Bong Soon is developing her game with Minhyuk's help. Minhyuk asks her, whom do you want to save in your game? She says, a prince who lives in a palace. Then Minhyuk names her game Bong Soon, which makes Bong Soon happy. In the next scene, they are both in the library where Minhyuk is just looking at Bong Soon. Then he holds her hand and pulls it under the table, which makes Bong Soon hide her face. Then they both spend a lot of time together. In the next scene, police officers use Hee-ji to catch the criminal. They stay around her so that when the criminal comes to catch her, they can catch him. The criminal comes there and Hee-ji gets worried and starts running. So the police officers start going towards Hee-ji. Then we see the criminal who is taking a girl away. He throws her belongings right there. Then we see that the girl the criminal took is not Hee-ji but Kyung-shim. The criminal tells Kyung-shim, did you think I wouldn't be able to catch you with your friend around? Now I will kill both you and your friend. Hearing this, Kyung-shim gets very scared. Here at the police station, all the officers are sad about the failure of their plan. They wonder how the criminal found out about their plan. Then Gukdu remembers that he had seen many camera parts with the criminal, so he starts looking for a hidden camera there. Then, after a lot of searching, Gukdu finds the hidden camera, which he takes down and throws away. The criminal also finds out about this and smiles. Then he pretends to be Kyung-shim and starts talking to Bong Soon from her mobile. Then in the conversation, he finds out that if Bong Soon harms an innocent person with her power, her powers will be gone. Knowing this, The criminal becomes happy. The next day, Bong Soon looks at her game character, which Minhyuk has drawn. Bong Soon is very happy to see it. Minhyuk sends that character to a graphics expert. In the next scene, Bong Soon is looking for Minhyuk in the company. Minhyuk suddenly grabs her hand, brings her into the seminar room, stands close to her and says, "I always want to protect you in every problem like this." Then he kisses her on the head and takes her to the beach, where they both enjoy a lot. There, Minhyuk makes a half heart with a stick and asks Bong Soon, "Will you complete it for me?" Bong Soon comes and completes that heart and says, "I always want to be with you." Then they both kiss. After this, he drops Bong Soon home, and she tells him, "Tomorrow, I have to give a presentation for the first time, so I will try to do my best." Minhyuk happily thanks her for coming into his life. After coming home, when she messages Kyung Shim, she feels something weird when she gets a reply. Then, to confirm, she calls her, but no one picks up the call. This makes Bong Soon very worried. Then she calls Guk-do and asks him to track Kyung Shim's alarm watch. Bong Soon goes out and starts looking for Kyung Shim. On the other hand, Minhyuk is designing a necklace for Bong Soon. He messages Bong Soon, but she doesn't reply. On the other hand, Guk-do finds that watch with a beggar while tracking it. He says, "I picked up these things from the road." So everyone understands that the criminal tricked them with Hee-ji and kidnapped Kyung Shim. Then they all come to that garage, but it is very big, so they start searching. Bong Soon also comes there, so Guk-do tells her to go back home. She comes home, and the criminal sends her a video of Kyung Shim in which she is crying and tells her, "Stop looking for me, because I don't want you to get into any trouble." The criminal says, "If you want to see Kyung Shim alive, don't tell the police." Now she couldn't take help from Guk-do, so she goes to Minhyuk and tells him the whole story. She asks him to help her save Kyung Shim, which surprises Minhyuk. Minhyuk, while comforting Bong Soon, says, "Don't worry, he won't do anything to Kyung Shim. We will go to catch him together. Don't go alone." Then, he puts the same necklace on Bong Soon that he had made for her. He says, "Always wear this." The next day, police officers find out about the criminal through research. He has a mental illness. At the age of 15, he poured petrol on a man and killed him. He has also been in jail. The next day, Bong Soon again watches the video of Kyung Shim, and she hears the same sounds from behind that were coming from the car garage. This confirms to her that Kyung Shim is inside the car garage. Then she goes to the car garage and starts picking up and throwing cars there. The criminal is also shocked to see this. Then he takes Kyung Shim and starts running from there and tells his servant to set the car garage on fire. Bong Soon finally finds the door where the criminal had hidden Kyung Shim. On the other hand, Minhyuk also finds out that Bong Soon is in the car garage, so he gets worried and leaves to go there. He also calls Guk-do. When Bong Soon reaches that basement, she finds the kidnapped girls there. So Bong Soon quickly breaks their cage and brings them out. One girl tells her about Kyung Shim, that the criminal took her with him. In a short while, Minhyuk and Guk-do also reach there. Then, when the police arrive, Bong Soon hides her face and leaves from there. Minhyuk sees her and makes her sit in his car. Then, stopping the car on one side, Minhyuk gets very angry at her for going into the garage alone. He says, "If anything had happened to you, we would have gone with a plan. Then Kyung Shim would be with us." Bong Soon starts crying. There in the hospital, all the victim girls tell the police that a strong girl rescued them. Hearing this, the officers don't believe it. The next day, Bong Soon shows Guk-do the video of Kyung Shim and says, "Please conduct a secret investigation on this." She is crying, so Guk-do starts to console her. Just then, Minhyuk arrives there. He gets very angry seeing them together. He takes Bong Soon with him from there and gets very angry at her. He says, "I am so worried about you, so I regret why I fell in love with you because you have no idea about my feelings. That's why you keep putting yourself in danger." Hearing this, Bong Soon gets angry. She tells him to break up. She then starts to leave from there. So Minhyuk holds her hand and asks her, "Are you crazy?" She says, "I have realized that it is better for both of us to stay away." She then leaves from there. She is breaking up to save Minhyuk from danger. Minhyuk becomes very sad after this. Guk-do tells his officers about Bong Soon's powers and asks them to conduct a secret investigation. The officers agree to his words. In the next scene, Minhyuk finds out from his secretary that Bong Soon has not eaten. He goes to her and says, "If you don't eat, I won't eat either." And then he says sorry to Bong Soon. "I shouldn't have said that." But Bong Soon says, "It's not your fault, I just want to be alone." Hearing this, Minhyuk gets angry at her. He leaves, saying, "Do whatever you want, I won't stop you." After this, he gets food packed and keeps it on Bong Soon's table. In the next scene, Bong Soon gets a call from the criminal. Bong Soon says, "Let Kyung Shim go. If you have the courage, come and fight me." He says, "Okay, I will let Kyung Shim go. But then you will have to marry me. I will send you the location. You come there." Then before leaving, Bong Soon writes a note for Minhyuk and takes the food bag. In it, she finds a note written by Minhyuk which says, "Whatever you do, my feelings for you will never change." Then she sadly starts going towards the location sent by the criminal. Minhyuk also finds out Bong Soon's location from the device in the locket. He also starts going there and sends the location to Guk-do and tells him to come there. When Bong Soon starts looking for Kyung-shim at that place, she starts hearing the criminal's voice. She sees that the criminal is about to drop a lift on Kyung-shim. With all her power, she grabs that lift and throws it far away. From this, it seems that the criminal was in that lift, but Kyung-shim tells her he was not the criminal, but an innocent person. Bong Soon gets scared. Now, because of her power, an innocent person has been hurt, so Bong Soon's powers are gone, and the magical book kept in her room disappears. Then she comes in front of the criminal, and he points a gun at her. The criminal also finds out that her powers are gone, so he starts hitting her. Just then, Minhyuk comes there and starts fighting with the criminal. Then, Guk-do also comes, so the criminal, seeing an opportunity, starts to run away from there. He is about to start the car when Guk-do fires at him, which hits his shoulder. Minhyuk then comes towards Bong Soon, who is in a very bad condition. The criminal starts to flee by driving the car fast, so Guk-do also goes after him in his car. But suddenly, due to another car coming, the criminal's car falls into a ditch. Guk-do gets out and starts looking for the criminal. The criminal's car is, found in the water, but his dead body is not found. Minhyuk brings Bong Soon to his house. Her dad is worried about her, so he calls Minhyuk and asks about her, and he says she is sleeping at my house. Her dad cuts the call and tells his son, Minhyuk is a good person. Bong Soon's brother agrees with them. After a while, when Bong Soon's eyes open, she sees Minhyuk lying next to her and touches his face, which makes her feel some relaxation. Then she starts to get up from there, but Minhyuk makes her lie down next to him again and asks, "Do you like me now?" She says, "Yes, only you are in my heart." Tears come to Minhyuk's eyes. He tells Bong Soon, "I love you," and hugs her. The next day, Bong Soon tries to check her power by crushing an apple with her hand, but it doesn't happen. She becomes sad. Then Minhyuk makes juice for her in a machine. At the police station, Guk-do's officer says, "The criminal's body was not found, but he must have died after falling from such a high cliff, so we should close this case." Then Minhyuk comes to drop Bong Soon at her house, so she hugs Kyung-shim and cries a lot. Kyung-shim asks her, "Is she okay?" Crying, she says, "I am not okay at all. My powers are gone. I wanted this before, but now that the power is gone, I feel strange. But seeing my friend safe, I feel good." When Bong Soon's mom finds out about her powers being gone, she explains to her, "It's okay. Everything will be fine with time." This makes Bong Soon feel a little relaxed. In the next scene, we see Bong Soon coming to the company at her mom's behest to focus on work. Then she also makes the same necklace around the neck of her game character that Minhyuk had given her. Minhyuk takes her out with him. He asks her, "Why did you come to work? You should have rested." She says, "I want to divert my attention. Besides, I got this job with great difficulty." Minhyuk says, "Now that the criminal is dead, we can date like normal couples." Bong Soon says, "I am not special anymore since my power is gone, so I am very sad." Minhyuk says, "I don't care whether you have power or not. I just like you and want to see you happy." Then they both go out and spend a good time together, where Bong Soon starts feeding him chocolate. When Minhyuk opens his mouth, she eats it herself. So when she offers him chocolate again, Minhyuk kisses her, which shocks Bong Soon. The next day, Bong Soon is very happy to go on a picnic with Minhyuk. She cooks a lot of food and then gets ready nicely and comes out, and Minhyuk just keeps looking at her. Then they both go to a park where they spend quality time together. Both are very happy because they think everything is fine now. Then we are shown the criminal. He cuts his hair to change his getup, from which we find out that that day the criminal had jumped into the water and had run away from there after throwing his clothes outside. Then he comes to Minhyuk's company as a fake reporter. He is going up when Guk-do, who had come to meet Bong Soon, recognizes him and starts hitting him. But that criminal takes a girl hostage and runs away from there. Then when Guk-do tells Minhyuk, he calls the security office and gets all the doors closed. Then he also tells Bong Soon that the criminal is in the company. Then Minhyuk hears the criminal's voice. He says, "If you can't find me in 15 minutes, I will blow up your entire company." Hearing this, all the employees get scared. Minhyuk sends all the employees out of the building. Then when the secretary is about to take Bong Soon out of the building, the criminal hits the secretary and makes him unconscious and takes Bong Soon up to the roof of the building. Then he ties her up with a bomb and says, "You hit me with a steel rod, right? Now try to break these chains." and then he hits her and makes her unconscious. When Guk-do sees the secretary unconscious, he calls Minhyuk and tells him that the criminal has taken Bong Soon with him. Over there, the criminal sets the bomb timer on Bong Soon and runs away from there. Minhyuk finds out that Bong Soon is upstairs, so he starts to go up, but the criminal has locked the door. He calls out to Bong Soon, which brings her to her senses. Then, seeing herself tied to a bomb, she tells Minhyuk to leave from there, but Minhyuk says, "I can't leave you alone." Bong Soon, crying, requests God, "Please give me back my power. I don't have to save myself but Minhyuk." Just then, the magical book that had burned suddenly starts to shine, and after a lot of light from the sky falls on Bong Soon, her powers return. So she breaks those chains and throws that bomb upwards, which blasts as it goes up. Then Minhyuk hugs Bong Soon. The employees standing below, seeing the fireworks from the bomb, think that maybe the boss has given them a surprise. But the criminal, seeing all this, runs away from there. Minhyuk then takes Bong Soon for dinner, where he gets a call from her dad. He asks her to come home, so Bong Soon tells Minhyuk, "Can I not go home today?" Minhyuk becomes happy, but he also gets a call from Bong Soon's dad. He asks him to drop Bong Soon home, which makes Minhyuk sad, and he drops Bong Soon home. While leaving, Bong Soon tells him, "Today I have come to believe in your love, that you love me a lot." Then at night, both of them are missing each other in their respective homes. Then Bong Soon goes to Minhyuk's house and tells him, "I was missing you a lot, so I came." Minhyuk kisses her. The next day, Minhyuk tells his secretary to put up posters of the criminal all over the city, and whoever gives information about him will be rewarded. In the next scene, Guk-do has come to meet Bong Soon. She tells him about getting her power back and also that yesterday when she was tied to the bomb, Minhyuk didn't leave her. Hearing this, Guk-do thinks that he should have been with Bong Soon at that time too. Then while leaving, he hugs Bong Soon, so the secretary seeing them like this thinks that maybe Bong Soon is cheating on the boss. So he takes their picture and then goes and shows it to Minhyuk, which makes Minhyuk very angry. He then calls Guk-do and asks to meet, to which he agrees. After this, when Minhyuk is about to ask Bong Soon about that hug, Bong Soon kisses his cheeks, which makes Minhyuk forget all his anger. Then they both have lunch together. After this, Minhyuk goes to meet Guk-do, and Guk-do asks him, "Do you like Bong Soon?" Minhyuk says, "Just like? She is my girlfriend, so don't you dare hug her again." This breaks Guk-do's heart. Then on the way back, both are about to fight when Bong Soon arrives there. Minhyuk asks, "Who told you I was here?" Guk-do says, "She came to meet me." Minhyuk gets even angrier at this. Then Bong Soon separates them both and says, "I need both of your help in catching that criminal, that's why I came here. But you two are in some other thought." After this, both of them drink a lot in anger and pass out. So Bong Soon, like before, picks both of them up and brings them home. The next day, when Minhyuk wakes up and sees that his jacket is off and his shoes are also lying on the side, he understands that Bong Soon did this. He then becomes happy. Then Bong Soon gives breakfast to both of them and says, "I want to catch that criminal." At first, they both don't agree to work together, so Bong Soon says, "Then I will look for this criminal alone." So both say, "No, we are both with you." After this, they also make the criminal's photo viral on the internet, which makes it difficult for the criminal to go out. Then that criminal buys a very expensive sniper gun from a man. That man gives this information to the gangster's boss. Then the boss tells Minhyuk that he is going to escape by ship from here on this date and has also bought a sniper gun. Guk-do, knowing this, says he will definitely attack Bong Soon with the gun. So he tells Bong Soon, "Whenever the criminal calls you, you call him to meet at a place where we can catch him." The next day, Bong Soon gets a call from this criminal. He says, "Do you think you can catch me just because you got your power back?" To provoke him, Bong Soon starts making fun of him. "Are you afraid of a girl? If you have the courage, then meet me face to face at the same place where we last met." Then Bong Soon tells Minhyuk, "Tonight I am going to catch that criminal." So he is a little nervous about sending Bong Soon there. So Bong Soon says, "Trust me," which makes him agree. At night, Bong Soon reaches that place. Minhyuk and Guk-do are also hiding there. As soon as the criminal sees Bong Soon, he fires at her, which makes Bong Soon fall to the ground. Guk-do goes after the criminal, and Minhyuk runs towards Bong Soon, where Bong Soon was not regaining consciousness. Then Minhyuk calls Guk-do and tells him the location from where the criminal is going to leave by ship. So Guk-do goes there and starts looking for the criminal, but that place is a bit of a maze. He is looking for him when Minhyuk also reaches there, and with the help of a drone starts telling Guk-do the criminal's location. Then, according to the plan, they bring the criminal to the place where they had blocked the road. Just then, Bong Soon enters. Seeing her alive, the criminal is shocked. He says, "How are you alive?" Bong Soon says, "My work was incomplete, so how could I die?" Here we see a flashback where Minhyuk had made Bong Soon wear a fireproof jacket before she left, which saved her. She was just acting dead at that time. Then Bong Soon takes out walnuts from her pockets and starts hitting the criminal with them, due to which he can't even run. Then Bong Soon comes down and comes after him. He starts to run, but outside Gukdu and Minhyuk are waiting for him. Then the criminal starts to run in the other direction, so Bong Soon throws a heavy cage on him, due to which he gets locked in that cage. Then the police come and arrest him. When he is asked in jail why he did all this, he says, "Just for fun. I used to love it when those girls begged me for their lives." Hearing this, Gukdu gets angry at him. He starts hitting him, but we see that the criminal had no regret for what he had done. He was laughing at all the police. After this, Bong Soon comes to the company and practices her game presentation. The secretary asks her, "What will be the ending of the game?" She explains, "The Supergirl will defeat the villain and save the prince. Then they both will live happily ever after." Minhyuk is happy to hear this. In the next scene, Minhyuk comes to drop Bong Soon home, and Bong Soon's mom brings him inside. She sends him to Bong Soon's room and says, "You two enjoy." After this, looking at Bong Soon's bed, Minhyuk says, "So, okay, here you say goodnight Min to me," and then starts to hug her. Just then, her mom comes with fruits. She says, "I won't disturb you two," and then puts the fruits down and leaves from there. After this, Minhyuk is about to kiss Bong Soon when Bong Soon's brother comes into her room, but seeing them, he says, "I just came to get a pen, you two can continue." But he, Minhyuk, says, "Let it be, I am leaving. It's gotten quite late." Then coming out, Bong Soon kisses his cheeks. Minhyuk smiles and then kisses her. Then we are shown that the criminal is given a life sentence. In the next scene, we see that Minhyuk is given an appreciation award by the police, and his photos are also posted. But Minhyuk is not happy to receive this award. He thinks this award should be given to Bong Soon. Bong Soon says, "Now get used to receiving awards. This is just the beginning." Minhyuk asks, "Will we have to see more difficulties?" Then Bong Soon's game presentation starts, where she gives the presentation with full confidence, hearing which Minhyuk remembers many memories of Bong Soon and himself. Then, after the presentation, everyone is impressed by her game and claps. In the next scene, Minhyuk takes Bong Soon on a date. Bong Soon asks him, "Since when did you like me?" He says, "Since the first time I saw you." Bong Soon says, "Then it must have been very difficult to wait for me." Minhyuk says, "Yes, it was difficult, but I was sure that you would also start to like me one day." Then he kisses Bong Soon. In the next scene, Minhyuk gets ready and comes to the marriage hall where he is very happy to see Bong Soon as a bride. His family has also come there. Then they both click photos with everyone. Then they both get married. Then Bong Soon picks Minhyuk up in her arms, which surprises everyone. After some time, they have 2 daughters, but they both are powerful like Bong Soon. Therefore, no one is ready to babysit them, so Minhyuk himself has to babysit them. But in this, Minhyuk gets a lot of punches. He calls Bong Soon and tells her, so she says, "I am busy helping people, so you will have to take care of them." Minhyuk becomes sad. After this, we are shown a scene of Bong Soon, who is standing on the terrace and says, "This whole world is full of criminals and bad people who need to be corrected." Then she jumps down from the building and says, "Therefore, I am coming to teach them all a lesson, because my name is Strong Woman Do Bong Soon." And then the drama ends right here.